Dancing in the minds of mud racers are visions of mayhem, not sugar plum fairies, as they prepare to grapple an unsettling gully in Lima, Ohio. This possessed surface has surrendered some quick times in the past, but it also seems to lay claim to a victim or two. Today, the key will be to see who wields the quickest escape and fears not this troubled terrain. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the best in NMRO mud racing. Today, it's the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals from the Allen County Fairgrounds here in Lima, Ohio. Hi, everybody, I'm Gary Lee, and welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power. The action we see here at Lima is beginning to rival places like Bloomsburg and Sedalia, and we always have top caliber cars. In fact, the competition usually generates some very fast runs. We have a stellar field for this spring fling, and here with more on today's competition is Army Armstrong.
Gary, with all the action that took place at Lima last year, a major motorsporting feat was overlooked. A new world record on a 180-foot track took place right here. 2.55 seconds by Ron Pence. Pence said that record would not be broken. However, the tribe of horsepower that we have back in the pit area here with us today, they're kind of reading a riot act to Pence. As far as they're concerned, he's going to be like Custer, a little bighorn. They're coming after his scalp. Let's see if they can get it.
Okay, we're set to go. There's a look at Dan Brown, who won the cut tire class in this event. The track today is a bit on the dry side, which means sticky, heavy mud. Now, there's a look at the fiberglass Vicky body of Mike Yosh's Hyperactive, and Mike, along with others, will be toting some extra pounds today. As Army Armstrong explained, that will not necessarily hurt in this game.
Up until now, there's been a constant in motorsports. That is, the lighter something is, the faster it'll go. That is not necessarily the case in mud racing. We're standing next to the world record holder, Ron Pence's vehicle. He holds a world record with the 2.55. The vehicle has to weigh 2,450 pounds. Ron Pence does not weigh anywhere near 2,450. Matter of fact, we found out he weighs around 2,800 pounds. Why is he heavy? Very, very simple. The weight that he has found to be to his advantage. He puts the weight in the frame. This frame is actually heavier than it needs to be, but that also makes it safer than it needs to be. And if you've seen in the sport, these guys are flipping all the time, so a heavier frame definitely has got to be to your advantage. Also, the weight sets over the rear wheels, and when you transfer the weight to the rear wheels, there's just more physical weight to dig into the track. So, Gary, that's the scoop on the weight break in this particular sport.
Yeah, excuse the pun there, Army. Well, over the far lane, it will be the man very, very familiar with Victory Lane, Tom Meents, in the Mud Patrol out of Paxton, Illinois, and he pulls up alongside Mike Yosha in Hyperactive.
Both of these drivers trying to get a handle on the track. They're wrecking ordering, if you will. Nobody's been in front of them. They've got to try to figure it out. It looks like it's going to hold some speed and horsepower, and nobody really looked to be in trouble.
Yeah, good ride for Tom there. There you saw his time of 2.749 and the Hyperactive at 2.803. Let's look again.
Now, the first two out, look how smooth that track is, but the word in the pit area is this is the place to be, not at the end of this draw.
Well, Tom Meents lays down a good one, gives him something to shoot for. He's with Army.
274. Advantage or disadvantage to go first?
I'd say maybe an advantage today, but we stepped the motor up this year and we're still having a little bit of traction problems. It's going to take us a little time, but I think when it turns around, it's going to really work to our benefit.
A lot of people are concerned about the starting line. They said if it goes away, there's no hope for the guys in the back of the field. That's why I asked you about being first. What do you think the track will do?
Yeah, I think the track will get worse, but I think there's some good cars back there yet.
And one of those good cars is driven by this guy right here, Fred Wilhite. He's coming up when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Allen County Fairgrounds in Lima, Ohio, where Ford Trucks present the four-wheel Jamboree Spring Nationals, part of the Special Events Performance Series. Neil Smith and American Thunder out of Grantville, Georgia. This rear-engine Power Pro chassis is brand new for the 91 NMRO Rookie of the Year, and Army took a look at it.
Here we are with Neil Smith's American Thunder. I want to show you some similarities here to drag racing. Keith Black Chrysler Hemi engine, 1471 supercharger, and Enderley injector. That is the part that makes it go. Now, there's another interesting part located on the very back of this vehicle. That's the part that makes it whoa. Look, Jim Deese out of California has actually designed a twin parachute setup for the mud racers in order to stop these vehicles. So once again, the technology that's been so famous in the sport of drag racing is working its way over to the sport of mud racing.
Well, Smith will take on Buck Henderson in Appetite for Destruction, a nitrous-injected 28 Roadster. So will we see the chute deployed?
I don't know. I think you have to clean that thing up.
And repack it.
Exactly. That's why you got a crew. Let's see what's going to happen. Good run. Number looked good. What was it, Gary? Whoa, we got another trouble.
Yeah, before we look at the number, Buck was in all kinds of trouble at 5.62. No chute for Neil at a 2.746.
Okay, now, American Thunder goes through and leaves a good lane for the man behind him. We could be seeing something happen here and that a lane going away.
Let's talk to Neil Smith.
274, you're the guy they're all coming after now.
It felt pretty good. This is a brand new car, and I had to back off of it a couple of times. I wanted to pull to the right just a little bit, but I'm real pleased with it as far as power range, but we can get a lot more out of it. But I hope that's going to hold, but I don't feel like it.
Not showing a lot of confidence right there as we take a look at my favorite Martian, Fred Wilhite Money Pit. He could put some sponsorship names on those little balls coming out of the
Gary,
helmet.
ever since he put that helmet on, he's been your main man. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm worried about the lane that Wilhite's in, rolls out. The man in front of him has problems. That could be indication of the lane going away. Meanwhile, the lane closest to us, downtown Brown, looks to have a real good smooth lane. Maybe get a kick out of the middle. We got to wait and see when he plants the horsepower. There's that kick.
They were both kicking through that lane there. Wilhite out of his lane, disqualified. We'll take a look now at the time for Dan Brown at 2.842. That is good for, I believe, third on the leaderboard. Dan, of course, won the cut tire class here at the Spring Nationals. Take a look again, coming right at you.
Well, you know, you'd think, looking at it from the side, it's a straight race. No way. Check it out.
Well, let's go down and talk to Dan Brown.
Looks like you backpedaled about 3/4 of the way through. Is that because you're making too much horsepower or the track's not holding the horsepower you have?
I mean, we got out there about half track and the thing just left the ground and I heard it buzz up, and when it come back down, that's when you heard it backpedal. It just caught and hooked hard again. It left completely off the ground. We must have got 3-4 foot of air out of the back end out there.
It's amazing how much these guys can hear and ascertain at that speed. It all happens so quickly, but they know exactly what happened.
No problem. I'd have my eyes closed. Gary, this should be a very evenly matched race. As the Chatterbox 3 comes out, he'll be going against Brian Harrell. We call him Flying Brian because this kid's coming into the sport out of Pennsylvania with the family operation and is really starting to lay down some numbers. So there is a future to this sport. There's a lot of young blood coming in here, and since they're starting to get TV exposure, I think you're going to see more and more of that, Gary Lee.
Schlegel and Harrell both with a pair of blowing Chevys.
Whoa!
Trouble about mid-lane right there. And Brian Harrell, of course, gets DQ'd. He's setting a skew in the mud.
A skew, is that kind of like
I'll explain
Clint
it to you
Eastwood
later.
saying right turn
Chatterbox at 3.153. He was messed up mid-lane. How's that sound? As we take one more look, hang on, he gets her woed. We'll come back with more action from Lima. Army Armstrong and Gary Lee back in Lima, Ohio on Trucks and Tractor Power as the competition continues. There's a good look at Alish in Beefy Blue, the Chevy S10.
He's come out with the new 3-speed Lincoln transmission that allows him to really stick the horsepower to the racetrack. Now the question is, will the track hold that horsepower? I don't know, Gary.
Well, he goes up against Kevin Stone, and the heat is on.
Boy, that name could tell you a story because as we get further into this field, the track is starting to go away a little bit. We've got a guy coming out here with a whole lot of horsepower that we know is going to be able to put it to the track. Again, will the track hold it? Let's wait and see. No, he's in trouble, Gary.
Hang on. Oh, once over. A complete barrel roll. It happened about mid-track. Could you tell what prompted that?
The horsepower, when it came in, it just looked to me like it just powered itself on around. He didn't back on the throttle, so I don't know. The fire crew's right on the spot. That's one thing about these special events people. They got a good safety precaution.
Well, let's take a look again.
He hooks. Right there he hooks. Doesn't back on the throttle. Now he's into the throttle. Wow.
He was headed for our scissor lift over there, one of our camera positions. You can see the crew talking to Big Al, and Al is about to climb out. He's okay. Both arms raised up to indicate to an appreciative crowd that he is okay.
They could have broken an axle on this thing. Well, we had Flying Brian go through. Now we got Wow Al out there.
I think we have one more angle to show you of this run. Now watch about mid-track. He gets in trouble, gets over the berm, drives it out of the mud, and now he's trying to get her woed and slowed down, and he can't quite do it. Makes a complete barrel roll. That'll jar your dentures, but he is okay. You can see the damage to the truck, and he is standing by now with Army Armstrong.
Al, real quick, I'm going to come up on one side, and the EMT's going to be on the other. I'm going to just grab you for a second, make sure you're okay, and then turn you over to him. Do you have any idea what happened?
Well, we got crossed off up in the pit, and I didn't leave off quick enough. She launches when she gets outside. I was trying to get the throttle, keep it settled down, but it caught a horn over here and went over.
Okay, I'm glad you're okay. I'm going to turn you over to Bill, our EMT.
Did it. It was wild. I never did that before.
Well, go home and watch it on TV. I'm glad you're all right.
Thank you.
Billy's all yours.
You win. It was better than mine.
Well, there's the damage to the front of Beefy Blue. The driver being checked out, but Big Al is okay. Now some Class 6 highlights. Mark House in Pure Hell taking on Henry Mattingly in Magnum Force. And Mark was turning a 2.914 and Henry a 2.953.
Well, earlier in the day, the track was seeming to hold up, go back together for a smooth racing surface, Gary.
Jeff Ballard, the Port Brothers Express, would best those other two guys with a 2.903. Another wild ride for Tom Marsh at the Spring Nationals. The far lane taking on Chad Miller. Miller would turn an impressive 2.885, and the intruder would just simply turn, cross the line, and spread some straw.
Yeah, I really took a chance when I lined up there, Army. I split the ruts there trying to get a good hook, and it hooked for me good. But then when I hit second gear, it really pulled to the right there because it got out of the mud on the one side.
Ron Smith in the far lane would fare a lot better. Get a sub 3-second pass at 2.979. Bill Oldenwald taking on Al Stebbins in Rapid Transit. Stebbins' 2.835 shot would be good enough for 4th place.
We overpowered the starting line today, Army. I knew there was a bunch of good cars here. We stepped it up a little bit, and we just overpowered. We broke a left front axle.
Well, looking at the current standings now, Neil Smith on top at 2.746. Then it's Tom Means, Mike Yosha, Al Stebbins, and Dan Brown. Back to the starting line, Melvin Brown out of Ewington, Ohio in the Blue Max, taking on Shane Back in Attitude Adjuster.
Brown's been around the sport a long time, as has Back. Both of them had a chance to look at the track. They know they've got to find some mud out there. This Jeffersonville, Kentucky native is an auctioneer by trade, knows with all the horsepower he has and where he is, he's got to be looking for mud. That's what they're doing right now, Gary.
Well, they're looking for a fast lane that has not been used prior, or has not been chewed up by prior competitors. And at this point in the competition, it's tough to find what they're looking for.
And it's all determined by the luck of a draw.
There's your time to beat as Brown goes against Back. Oh, rough ride for both. Hang on there.
Oh, he's over.
Upside down. A complete barrel roll, side to side.
Boy, you opened the show talking about these guys thinking about Sugar Plum Ferries. These guys need to hold hand in hand and line dance in a minefield today. This track is possessed almost. Look at
They're
these
really
guys.
getting in trouble when they turn them sideways, either in the lane or in the shutdown lane. How many times over the years have we seen exactly this happen? These guys run low air pressure for a good bite at the start, but when they get sideways, the sidewall collapses, the tire tucks, and they roll on over. Here's Shane with Army.
Another day at the office here. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just got a little swirly out there, and I'm trying to go for that record. You know how it is.
What about the starting line? They worked the starting line, softened it up a little bit. Did you get a good bite on the starting line?
Yeah, I feel like we had a good bite on the start line. The car seemed to work pretty well. I noticed when I pulled up the line, I had a little bit of a fuel leak, but we went right on for it.
I'm glad to see you're okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, as Shane walks back to his disabled car, they'll remove that from the shutdown area. And we can tell you what a hospitable crowd we have here in Lima, Ohio at the Allen County Fairgrounds. We can also take a moment to tell you about the Special Events Performance Series. Pick up the latest in aftermarket parts and accessories with a visit to the manufacturer's Midway. There's also a show and shine competition with prizes in more than 28 categories. Call or write the Special Events Promotion Company to find out how you can be a part of these events or when one is coming to your area. Well, now back to the starting line where Tom Martin in the Mud Patrol is set to do battle with Rodney Covington in the Mud Rat. So the Mud Patrol against the Mud Rat.
And the starting line seems to be the big question. These big scooper tires make so much horsepower. As Martin, who I can say has lost about 50 pounds of weight, he's on a diet program trying to get lighter for his car, goes up against Rodney out of Maryland in the Mud Rat. Both guys are still trying to figure out where to put the horsepower. Right underneath that mud you see them sitting in, it's hard as a rock. It's like a brick.
Now, this is a pulling track, basically, so it's very packed down.
And you want a pulling track to be hard. You don't want a mud track. But now when they get in the pit, they're okay. But the initial start, see, good race. Whoa!
Once again, Covington in trouble. Oh, my. He rolled it side for side 2.5 times. That is the nastiest one we've seen, and we're looking for some movement in the cockpit. Of course, the driver encased in that roll cage.
Safety crew's on the way. They're going to be there in just a second, Gary.
There's the 2.723. That's the quick run for the day, but our concern right now is for Covington. Watch again the right lane in the shutdown area.
See, he's broncoing right now. Then he comes out, hooks, high sides, but what hurt him right here is he's into the throttle trying to get the thing going, see? That car almost completely disintegrated. Had it not been built to spec, that man would have been hurt.
Well, the roll cage stays together. Army, let's go down trackside.
Gary, I tell you what, Lima has some unique situations, but I have never in my life seen a safety crew work this quick. We've been talking about them all day long. Kind of a unique situation. We told you how important this world record was. These guys literally are putting them on kill. The driver is conscious. He's talking back to the safety crew. But, man, you can't say enough about these guys. You know, racing is a dangerous sport. You assume some responsibility. The driver's starting to come back around right now. Fire crew's with him. The EMTs are with him. Security's here. Everybody's doing exactly what they're supposed to do. As a matter of fact, behind the driver, you notice wrecker crew's here. The fire crew is hosing down a little bit of fuel spill. The safety cage held up on the car. The only thing I saw that was kind of spooky is they're cutting his helmet off right now. And his neck guard was his right hand did get outside the roll cage, and you notice his right hand's up a little bit. I don't believe it's broken, but they are taking a little bit of time with it.
Much anticipation right now from the grandstand, waiting on a word from the PA announcer as we take another look at what happened in the shutdown area to Rodney Covington. He actually goes over 2.5 times. Now right here takes a hard bounce on top of the side of the cage and comes to rest on the right side. He was knocked out. You can see him hosing down the car, trying to neutralize any spilled alcohol. So we'll take this break and come back to Lima, Ohio. Well, they've taken Rodney Covington to the hospital for observation. He appears to be okay, but right now here's Army with our new leader.
Well, Tom, you know, it's kind of weird. Everybody's complaining about the track and everything, and you come out towards the end of the field and cut the good number. What did you see nobody else is seeing?
Well, I seen a good spot there on the left side of the track, and I tried to cross to the right as I went down. I jumped the tracks, and very successful at it. I was a little lucky and feel real good about it.
Let's take a look now at some other highlights from Class 6 competition. It's Brian Bailey in the near lane against Pete Coronas in the far lane. And Coronas' time is a good one, 2.781. That is 4th fast this afternoon. Mike Pausina in the Racemaster chassis had a tough day right here at the end of his run. Collects the timing light and a whole lot of straw. Dave Ray in Midnight Magic turns in a 2.906. And here is Bob Heisner in Hot Tuna. Boy, I like the body style of this one, Army. He has all kinds of trouble right off the starting line.
48 Fiat. Gary used to be a real popular body style in drag racing.
Well, back to the starting line, our final pair, Randy Lowe in the Chevy Blazer, Real Foolish Pleasure, taking on the man who set the mark that everyone's chased here with reckless abandon today, Ron Pence in Tater out of the state of Missouri.
Boy, you're right. They chased it with reckless abandon, but Tater said coming in that record would not be broken and kind of made some guys mad, but looks like, whoa, he almost got in trouble, Gary.
Yeah, and his time
doesn't count.
That's right. I was about to go for the time for Randy Lowe at 3.049. Tater being disqualified, so the win will go to Tom Martin. There's your leaderboard with Neil Smith second. Then it's Tom Means, Pete Coronas, and Mike Yosha. And here is your winner with Army Armstrong.
Gary, I tell you what, I'm kind of glad this day's over. What surprises me is not this guy winning, but you winning from the middle of the field. The track has just been iffy all day long.
Yeah, the car really performed well. You know, I got to thank Van Sennis for giving me the horsepower, and thank my new fiancée, Laura. This is our honeymoon money, Laura, so here it comes.
So on a day of devastation, our congratulations to Tom Martin and our best wishes to Rodney Covington, who we understand will be okay. Well, that wraps it up for Army Armstrong. I'm Gary Lee. We'll see you next week on Trucks and Tractor Power. Now here's news and an exciting video release from Diamond P Sports.
Bring the excitement of mud monster truck racing into your living room with Diamond P's newest horsepower hit. Trust me, you're in there with this third strike. Shake, battle, and roll 3. It's all new and all you've come to expect, from the outrageous mishaps of the monster truck racing to the raucous rampage through the mud bogs. Shake, battle, and roll 3 is a must for any and every monster truck fan in the house. Over 60 minutes of jarring and pounding mud and mayhem and accelerated aerobatics you don't want to miss. To get your copy of Shake, Battle, and Roll 3, call 1-800-438-8585 or send $19.95 check or money order plus $4 shipping and handling to the address shown on your screen, or charge it on your MasterCard, Visa, or Discovery card. Call 1-800-438-8585 for Shake, Battle, and Roll 3.